All right, it's going.
Okay, all right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Sandra here from Plant Rich Sandra, and I'm so excited today. I am hanging out with my awesome friend Amy, and they have just been such gracious hosts. And Amy is Atkins, but she also is a professional caterer. And so she insisted on making Nutritarian dishes while I'm here, and it's so sweet. And I had given her a copy of Eat to Live Quick and Easy, which I love. You know, I love this cookbook, a few months ago. And so she perused this book and has ended up choosing 3 things from the book to fix for me while I'm here. And so here we have 2 of them, but in addition to that, she also made something of her own that I want to talk about today, which I'm going to start doing. All right, so first of all, let's just go ahead and do that one first, okay? All right, so you want to tell them about what you did here?
Okay, this is a modified version of an older recipe that we got out of a cooking magazine years ago. And all it is, you can use whatever vegetables that you like, really, that would roast well, because it's a roasted vegetable recipe, or medley. So we've got butternut squash, acorn squash, parsnips, beets,
Onions.
sweet potato, and onion. And we dice them small, especially the beets because they take longer to roast. But all that's in this dish is a plain, not hot curry powder and black pepper. So we dice the vegetables, like I said, small, toss them in the curry powder and the black pepper, lay them out on a roasting pan, roast them for about 45 minutes
On
350.
350.
We bumped it up a little bit because we were a little bit hungry and they were taking too long. But 350 for about 45 minutes should do the trick.
Now, we were talking last night. You ended up, because y'all had made for you did some, like mixed in with oil so that they wouldn't stick. Did you end up having trouble with the cookie sheet? Because you didn't lay down parchment paper first. So did you have trouble washing the
No.
cookie sheet? Okay.
The cookie sheet came out perfectly clean, actually cleaner than our version with the
Really?
oil on it, because we had to clean up all of our olive oil, which we use. So there was no problem with it sticking or anything like that. So it was very good.
Did you try this one last night?
We are fans of salt, which I know is a Nutritarian no-no. This, I really would like salt on it, but I thought it was very tasty.
Okay.
without the salt.
And for me, since I'm used to no salt now, I was a pig last night with this. I'm like, because it doesn't occur to me to roast that much. I do more soups, and so and my sister-in-law Eileen does a lot of roasting. So I really enjoy it when I'm exposed to it, and so I'm definitely going to start doing more of that.
Now, what I'm going to show Sandra later is if you like to, with your leftover roasted vegetables, you add some vegetable stock, and of course it would be salt-free vegetable stock. Puree this beautiful soup. Just beautiful, tasty, vibrant soup, very little effort, because you've already roasted the vegetables.
You could probably even add some like almond milk in and make it a creamier pureed soup.
Sure,
Yes.
absolutely.
Okay, so that's one. That's the one that's not in any book. I just wanted to mention a sweet curry, like a mild curry, and some black pepper in it, and roast it. It was really good. And if you're like me and you do mostly soups and stuff, please consider trying some roasting. Add that to your Nutritarian plan. And it's great without salt. If you're used to that already, then it's awesome without that. Okay, so that's the first one. Okay. Which one now?
Okay, let's talk about the mushroom soup, because I do want to, we did use Dr. Furman's recipe.
And by the way, in here, in the Quick and Easy, it's the Ready in a Flash mushroom soup on page 141.
Very simple, some chopped onions, chopped mushrooms, the kale, and no sodium vegetable broth. But then to thicken it, we pureed white beans. That was beautiful. It was Nutritarian compliant thickener, which added flavor and thickness. We did add more broth because it got too thick and dry. So we added extra vegetable broth till it was a nice stewish consistency. But that was the only difference that we thought would be better. And you can see we chunked up the mushrooms really thick. Nice kale in there. So delicious. No salt. Very compliant. We thought it was delicious.
I've made this, used to make this a lot, and I freeze them in bowls, and so it is a very flavorful soup, and of course, as you know, G-bombs, the M is mushrooms, and Dr. Furman is adamant about that we get, and it doesn't have to be a whole bunch of mushrooms every day. 2 or 3 mushrooms is enough, cancer-fighting benefits that Dr. Furman talks about. So I would recommend that you try this Ready in a Flash mushroom soup. You can see it's really pretty, and it does freeze well. I have done that, and so I do recommend that soup. Okay?
Well, next we'll just talk about a basic baby lima bean. Now, as a Southern cook, I always add pork fat and salt and all that to my beans. These are very simple cooked limas with garlic and onion powder and an herb that we get from a specialty market called Herbs de Provence. And you could put whatever kind of herb you want to in it. Very flavorful, tasty. Again, I'm not a Nutritarian, so I really like the salt. But I have to say, without the salt, you are really, I don't want to say the word forced. You're encouraged. You get the flavor of just the food without the enhancement of the salt. And I was very surprised.
Did
Very
you use
tasty.
a slow cooker? Did you do them on the stove? Do you
Just
have an
on the
Instant
stove.
Pot?
Just a regular long cooking process with your water and your beans. Cook them to the consistency and the tenderness that you like. Very simple. Just
For me personally, and I haven't said this yet on my YouTube channel, I know I've said this on Facebook, but the only beans that I don't care for salt-free are black-eyed peas. I don't like them salt-free, so I don't try that anymore. And then the other bean, the adzuki beans, which is considered like a sweet bean that can be used to make desserts and stuff, which I haven't done yet. I just don't care for those sweet beans, but the limas, the baby limas, the other white beans like the Great Northern, oh my God, I love those beans, and so I used to cook them the old-fashioned way quite frequently. Now I have an Instant Pot, which I want to start talking about Instant Pots more on my channel here, but as Nutritarians, we go nuts for our beans, and so just want to say that is something you definitely want to go for, is to try making them yourself. Okay, now let's talk about this. This is the carrot and red lentil soup from the book. Okay, and here it is on page 121. This is one of my favorite recipes of all time.
Well, I have to say I've never cooked with carrot juice, and I've never cooked lentils. Beautiful little small bean, I guess, and you just this had a lot of onion in it. The recipe called for a lot of onion, sweet onion. Saute that, water saute, which I'd never done.
Did you YouTube water saute?
I did not.
You just did?
I just followed the book.
Okay.
Followed the cookbook, very simple, just like it says. Onions, carrot juice, lentils. You gotta cook. This cooks for a while. I think we cooked it for an hour. During the cooking process, I added extra juice and extra vegetable broth because I think either my stove is a little too hot and it was cooking too quickly. So this is with a little extra juice as opposed to what's in the cookbook. So just keep your carrot juice and your broth on hand to add to it if you need to.
Okay, and so the first time I made it, when I saw carrot juice, at the time I had no clue that you could buy, like I was just thinking of like V8, I didn't realize about like carrot juice. And so and I know Harry goes out and he looks for easier ways to do things. I don't tend to think that way, which I should, but I don't. So, you found a carrot juice, a very low sodium carrot juice, which made this easier. The first time I did it, I juiced carrots. I Googled it, and I figured out how to juice carrots, and I started, bought the nut milk bag, the mesh bag, and everything. and felt a little overwhelmed that first time. But I want to say, in my opinion, the carrot juice, whether it's jarred or fresh, is the secret ingredient.
Oh, when I tasted the broth, I was so surprised by its sweetness and depth of flavor. I didn't know you could get that from a carrot.
I know.
Delicious.
Yeah. And also, I tried making this because you end up with all this mush. You know, you end up with the carrot pulp. And I'm like, what the heck do I do with this carrot pulp? I hate just throwing it away because it's a lot of carrots to get carrot juice. So I was freezing it, and then I'm like, I've had this now for months. I'm never going to use it, and I throw it away. So some people know how to make crackers out of it. So you can freeze it, and then you can do that with it. Little carrot pulp crackers, and add other things, I guess, to it. But one time I tried this adding the pulp. That was a mistake. Okay, there's a reason that Dr. Furman has it as just the juice and not putting all that pulp in there. It ruined that batch because it was too grainy, and it didn't have this wonderful creamy consistency to it. So you definitely need to stick to the recipe when you make this. And lentils cook up so much faster than the other beans. So lentils are something awesome that you can get your beans, you can make them from dry, and you can get them in an hour. You can have your dish in an hour, not 4 hours of regular other kinds of beans, you know, like the kidney beans and stuff like that. And so, and lentils are just as healthy as the other beans. So please consider all the different lentils. You can make a dal, D-A-L, an Indian dal with the yellow lentils or whatever. So there are all kinds of great things. And then the very last minute, you're adding your greens.
This was spinach.
And this has spinach in it.
And parsley.
Did you do the parsley? The first time I did go buy the parsley, and then I realized you don't have to, you know. So I never did the parsley again because I went and bought special, you know, I bought parsley fresh and stuff like that. And then
We use parsley a lot.
Oh, okay. I don't tend to, so I never added that again. And then at the very last minute, you add like some fresh lemon, which to me is awesome. I do that now to all my soups.
Yeah, we did that.
So is there anything else you want to mention that comes to your mind, like some of the experiences you had while you were trying some nutrition? We're still doing the tofu scramble before I leave, but before we do, is there anything else today you want to mention?
What I would encourage people to, especially first-time cookbook users, the cookbook gives you a base to start your food item, but it's always cooked to taste. If you don't like spinach, try kale. If you don't, you know, now this one, of course, you'd have to use the carrot juice and the lentils, but say in the mushroom, this called for sweet onions. Maybe you don't like sweet onions. Use Spanish onions. Don't be afraid to tweak the recipes. Like I said, we added extra broth. I added extra onion, accidentally. So.
And some people like to add more of the spices.
Exactly.
They feel that maybe Dr. Furman is very conservative in his amounts of spices, and some people add like double. I know we
double. We always add a lot of spice to our food.
Right, I do too.
Flavor.
Yes, because it does add extra flavor. That's right. Thank you to Tim for filming this for today. We really appreciate it. Okay, is there anything else?
Happy cooking.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you again for joining me today. If you got anything out of this video, please click like. I don't know where I'm pointing here. And also subscribe if you haven't yet. And if you got anything out of it, please share with somebody else who might benefit from today's video. Thanks again for joining me. Thank you. You are so, so awesome. You're just wonderful. I appreciate their hospitality here today.
We enjoyed it.
And everybody have a great day, and we'll talk to you again soon. Okay, bye.